I'm Pastor George Borghardt, and this is another Higher Things video short. I go to a Lutheran high school, and the chapel services aren't Lutheran. The teachers and pastors seem more concerned with keeping my attention than delivering Jesus to me. I want more Jesus in chapel. What do I do, Pastor Borghardt? This is a great question. It's really the nature of what church is all about. Is church about you, keeping your attention, keeping you focused, discussing topics that are relevant to you, something that impacts your life in order to have a life-changing experience which will move you up the level of Christianity and increase your commitment? Or is church all about, and chapel all about, what Jesus did for you on the cross? Is it all about you and your attention and your focus? Or is it all about Jesus and what he did for you? You're saying that church is all about, and chapel should all be about, Jesus. And not just Jesus, but Jesus crucified for you, receiving that. Jesus' holy life, his life lived holy before God for you, and his bitter sufferings and death, which are the answer for all your sins and the sins of the whole world. Chapel should be all about receiving Jesus. And so everything about chapel should be about magnifying Jesus and not magnifying us. It means the songs and the hymns should be Christ cross-centered hymns. The liturgy should be not something that we just come up with, but something that magnifies, delivers Jesus to us. And, well, the message of chapel should be something which is, only as relevant as Jesus Christ and him crucified is relevant. Seems pretty relevant to me, but it doesn't seem pretty relevant to the world. Now, as you seek to have your church and chapel filled with Jesus Christ and him crucified, you're going to find that the world around you thinks that that's nuts. And here is your first example of it as you seek to change your chapel services to make them more about Jesus. This isn't about having one particular form, and it isn't about a teenage rebellion or being more Lutheran than someone else. This is about receiving Jesus Christ and him crucified. Now, you're a student, which means you have that fourth commandment responsibility to your teachers to be respectful in everything. You don't get to be rebellious when you're a teenager. You don't get to be rebellious even about Jesus. And so you want to get your parents and your pastor involved in the discussion. Maybe write your principal a letter explaining to them your concerns. Be specific about what is concerning you about chapel, and have your parents there to discuss with them and your pastor there to discuss with the principal about what's going on in order to move chapel from being focused upon you and your experience to being focused about Jesus and what Jesus did for you and the delivery of that. The delivery of Jesus, the receiving of Jesus is faith. So bring your parents and get them involved. Be respectful. It's not about being more Lutheran. It's not about a particular form. It's about the service being centered upon Jesus Christ and him crucified. And when they look at you like you're nuts, well, this is just the first bit of suffering concerning Jesus that you're going to receive in a whole life full of suffering. See, this is a battle that you're going to fight the rest of your life, because you don't get to stop going to chapel because it's not enough or it's not Christ-centered enough. You get to engage your teachers respectfully with a discussion about what chapel's about and how it's about receiving Jesus. You don't get later on in life to stop coming to church because it's not Christ enough. You get to engage the pastor and engage the leadership of your church in order to challenge them to make service not about you, but about Jesus. And we believe in Lutheranism that the best way for it to be about Jesus is for it to be in the historic liturgical forms which magnify Jesus and don't magnify us. And so you're going to fight a fight which you're going to fight the rest of your life, to have Jesus be the center of what you do and what you say, and specifically about the way you worship. And so as you engage this discussion respectfully, let Jesus be the one who's discussed and not what you want and don't want. And let it be a discussion that involves your parents and involves your pastor. This is just the first fight of many to have Jesus be the center of your worship. Let it be a respectful one. I'm Pastor George Borghardt, and this is another Higher Things video short.